Hello, hey, my name is Bill, and today I'm going to show you how to make a great mac salad. It's that time of year, we're going to start grilling out, cooking out, picnics and everything, and I just think you need a good mac salad, going to impress all your friends. So first I want to get started here. I have a pot of water just kind of simmering, and I got 4 eggs in here. And the whole thing is you don't want to hear them jumping like jumping beans, just kind of dancing around a little bit. And I set the timer for about 20 minutes. They're usually done at 17. You really can't overcook them because we're just simmering them. It's not like, in the old days where you turn up the heat to high, threw them in there and you broke a couple. When I used to make this, I'd put like 2 extra in because I knew I'd lose like 2. So we're just going to let these be. I'm going to come over here, we're going to put this all together. So I'm going to start with, I got my old-fashioned bowl here. I don't have any substitute yet. Got a cup of mayonnaise in here. I'm going to start with all the veggies. I like to use Bermuda onion, get a little extra tang. You can kind of adjust the quantities depending on what you like or don't like. I really like onion, but all the veggies should be about a cup. So I've got about a little cup and a quarter. I've got some celery I chopped up and some carrot, so I'm going to do the same. I like celery for the flavor, but I like the texture of carrot and the sweetness of the carrot. So I try to be kind of fair in that field there. I'm going to get some fresh ground pepper, always have to have that. Pretty big bowl full, so you kind of have to get a little work out putting some pepper in here. Alright. I got a quarter cup of red wine vinegar. I like red wine vinegar. A lot of people use like cider vinegar. I just think the red wine is a little calmer, I guess. I like the taste of it. Then I need about 2 teaspoons of dill wheat. Dill wheat's going to kind of bloom in it, so it's going to taste good. And about 3 tablespoons of any kind of mustard you want. Alright, there. This stuff aside here. So I'm just going to give this a quick little flip around. The thing about mac salad is the macaroni is going to absorb some of the liquid out of it, so after I put it together, I always check the refrigerator about an hour later. Half the time you got to add a little juice to it. Sometimes a little mayonnaise, and the other thing is sometimes I like to add a little pickle juice. So to me the pickles are really, really important, just like using mayonnaise instead of other things. Got this mixed around. So, I really like these hearty garlic pickles because I think they are not as tart. They just have a lot of good flavor. So I'm just going to pull out 8 of these little slices. So even if I finish off a jar, I always save it because you might want to add a little juice later. And after I cut these, I'm going to make sure I get most of the juice into that bowl. So the easiest thing is, it's nothing fancy. I like to use the sandwich slices because they're real easy. So I'm just going to cut them lengthwise, about quartered. Stack's a little too tall. I'm really picky. Like potato salad, there's not a lot of mac salad out there that I like. It's really funny, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, when you go to a cookout and you're eating someone else's food, you're always a little bit, I it's not my own, I'm not sure if I really want to try it. But some people just don't know how to cook. So I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to give these a good little chop. When you do the carrots and celery, you certainly use what utensil you're comfortable with. If you like to use a processor, a grater, that'd be my guess. I've just been doing this for so long, I prefer using a knife. You got one thing to clean, it's a blade. Up here. Like I said, I really want to try and get as much of that juice as I can. Normally, if I were cutting everything in the process, I would be finishing up cutting everything and mixing it all together just about as long as the eggs take. That's why I started the eggs off a little earlier. Cut everything up so that you don't have to sit here and watch me do that all day. But if you do have any questions about a technique, like how to cut something, feel free to send me a message. I can do a little video, even a little personal video I can send you. That's not a problem. This looks really good. It looks a little runny right now because we haven't even put the macaroni in or the egg. So I'm going to call this just about there. So let me see where we're at. Got a couple minutes on the eggs. So, like I said, it's really all about a portion of what you like. I like pickle, I like onion. So I'm less probably a fan of the eggs because it's more of a hassle to cut them up, believe it or not. So I use like 4 eggs with my pound of macaroni. I don't like it really too much mayonnaise, and you're going to see after it's been in the refrigerator for a couple hours, it's going to kind of dry out. It's almost going to look too dry, and that's what I said. Probably old school was my mother would have added some mayonnaise or milk. Of course, my mother used Miracle Whip, but that's another story. You know, nowadays I try not to add too much of the straight vinegar, because once again you might get a little too much flavor out of that. But you got pickle juice, mayonnaise, and you can make the consistency really whatever you want. But I like to have it a little bit firm so it's not just like gravy on the plate. And you'll see, because I'm going to pull this out and check it after we get it all together. So I'm coming over here to check, make sure my eggs, they're all gathered together. I don't see any cracks, so we're good. So ironically, what we're going to do, we'll get these eggs out of here on this great thing. It's for dishing up spaghetti. It'll coddle an egg perfectly, or cradle it. And what I do is I put it in an ice bath. So we're going to do that in a minute. But the whole thing is, I just want to hear it just ever so slightly. There's just some bubbles on the bottom. And why I'm scooping this out is because I'm going to keep this pot of water boiling, and I'm going to put my macaroni in while I'm cutting up my eggs. So once again, it's how to shorten the time. I'm just going to push these around a little bit. I don't have a crack in any of them. They're looking pretty good. They don't have to be disturbed. They're certainly fine. So the other thing you obviously have to remember, it is a mayonnaise and egg product. So if you are going out on a picnic, you got to keep it cool. Don't let it get to room temperature. Don't let it sit on the counter if you're having a cookout at home. You can even create an ice bath by putting some ice in the water in a bowl, a larger bowl, and then putting a smaller bowl inside. Tupperware is great for that because then you're not accidentally get water in it. So you can take a bigger container of ice and water and put a sealed Tupperware container in it and throw it in Just about there. It's like tailgaters, you know, you want a good cooler. Got to keep the temperature right down there until you're ready. Alright, these little guys are looking pretty happy. So it's still a pitter patter. I know you can't hear it over the music, but and it's so quiet anyway, it's packed this damn room. So like I said, I always set the timer for 20 minutes. That's kind of my outside time, so I keep an eye on it. But 17 minutes should be plenty. Obviously, crack one of these eggs open and the yolk's not done, you've kind of failed. But if you have spare eggs in the refrigerator, by this method, because you haven't dumped the water out, the water's still hot, you just put the mixture that you started in the fridge, start another batch of eggs. I used to have a fail-proof method that I used to use with a smaller pot. You're just doing a couple of eggs where you basically have water boiling, or you start it on cold, that's right. Put the eggs in cold water, turn up the heat. As soon as it starts to boil, you put the lid on, turn it off in 17 minutes. But I found that not to be as ideal as this method. All right, so I have a bowl here. It's got water and lots of ice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shock these things so that things can get a little shocked so that they're easier to peel. See how perfect that is? Lots of times I'll just do this in the sink. I want you to kind of see the effect of it. I'm just going to kind of push these in here, let them cool down. And really what I go by is I want them cool enough that I can pick them up, but warm enough I can still feel warmth in them if I hold them for a second. So that's going to be really quick. So while that's working, let's get this turned back up again. You're going to want to get the pasta in. I'm going to reset my timer. So I don't want to overcook my pasta, my macaroni, I'm sorry. So I'm going to set the timer for 9 minutes. It's 9 to 11 minutes. I want to be on the short end of it. In case I get a little distracted, it takes me the next few seconds. Bring my bowl over here. We're almost there, almost. If I hold them, they're still just get a little warm in just a second. Just 10 seconds. My fingers are getting cold. So what I like to do, these are done, I'm going to put them on a towel here. Get my ice bath out of the way. Water's coming back to a boil. Alright, checking the eggs, they're all good. Like them a little dry so that we don't get some easier to peel. Alright, if I did this right, pat it on a flat surface. I'm going to go over to the sink here. No way of doing this perfectly. Just do the best you can. And I was just reading the other day about try not to use really fresh eggs. They're actually harder to peel. You want to make sure you get all the shell off. You can certainly rinse it. Put it back on the cloth. Back, who's there? See how by shocking the water is still a little warm inside? I got these eggs last week, so they're just a week old. Killed a lot of eggs my day. Second. Do those deviled eggs. Something I had made forever. Water's getting to a pretty good rolling boil, so that should be good to go. I'll give just another second. I'm going to quick show you what I do. I like to take the egg, cut it half lengthwise, check the yolks. The yolk's perfect. Oh yeah. Nice and flaky. Still warm. First thing I want to do, pop the yolk out. Cut the whites, but the yolk, we're just going to mush. In case you're wondering, I did get these eggs out about 19 minutes. It was actually 19 minutes. Alright, so I got the yolk in here. Now what I want to do, before I cut the whites, take the fork and mush the yolk into the mixture here. So yolk is also kind of a thickener. It's going to absorb some of this liquid in here. And I'm really funny, I don't like big huge chunks of egg. So I mince it up pretty good. Always freaks me out when they serve like mac salad and it's got big slices of eggs. Whole slices. It's not my deal. Alright, so I got this all mixed in. Because these eggs are fresh enough and cooked just right, it really does work well. Also, it's funny, it changes the color. Egg's really simple to cut. Once again, I'm just going to cut it lengthwise in some slivers. Do like 2 of them at a time. And then I'm going to kind of turn them and just chop them. I usually do this a little quicker together, so if there's a little juice from the pickle on my knife, it keeps the egg from sticking. just kind of go through here and make sure there's nothing that was stuck to the blade that's really bigger than I want. Try to make some consistent sizes. Just take my mold. Max salad is one of those things that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's never going to be the same twice because of the ingredients you use. But it's so much fun to make, even more fun to eat. But I'm going to make barbecue chicken to have with this tonight. So I want to get this started. It's got to be in the refrigerator for a little bit. You can't go straight to the table when you mix it up. It just doesn't taste right. Perfect. Still everything looks great. Pretty pleased. So now what I'm going to do is this all work around in here. Get that put in the refrigerator. Let's go talk about our macaroni. Alright. Got a good boil. Got my timer set for 9 minutes. I think this macaroni actually holds up better. I've tried some of the other brands that tend to break up, especially after they've been sitting, or the next day you go to eat it, they're a little mushy. And that's one reason we want to use fresh pasta. So this is a real good rolling boil. So I just want to stir this, make sure nothing's sticking on the bottom, they don't stick to each other, just for a second or two to make sure everything's good to go. Boom. So as you saw, I was probably stirring it for 10 seconds. So because the time range is 9 to 11, I'm definitely getting a 9-minute of boiling. Make sure this is going to be done. I'm going to get cleaned up a little bit here. I'm going to wait the 9 minutes for this to finish, and we're going to put it all together. I'm putting the stuff in the refrigerator because I don't want to leave it out for all this time. It needs to get chilled, especially because the egg was still a little warm when I put it in there. We'll be back. See you in a minute. Alright, so I just drained the pasta. It's cooked for 9 minutes. I'm going to rinse it with a little cold water here. Just want to try and get it chilled. It should be cold enough I can touch my hand, so I can just now. Still steaming. The trick is you want to get this cool as quick as you can. There it goes. Yeah, we're going to stop the cooking process, get all the starch off of it. Don't need that in the mac salad. I think that's why sometimes you get mac salad that's kind of like pre-prepared, like from chain restaurants and stuff. You can't take the time to cook it properly, so you get a lot of starch. Next important step is I'm going to get all that water out. Macaroni traps a bunch of water, which is good when you make mac salad because you want to get all the good stuff in the macaroni, but I want to get the water out. I don't know why, but all colanders have a little ring at the bottom that can hold a little water. So inevitably, when I go to pour it, get a little water. Just want to make sure the mixture, which I just took back out of the fridge. Now we got a big bowl of mac salad. Stir it up as best we can. So the dressing, so to speak, of this is still really wet, which is good because, like I said, it's going to absorb it. So I did get enough vinegar, enough extra pickle juice in here. Seeing is that when I get down here to the bottom, it's already starting to absorb. It's filling all the holes in the macaroni. It does look good though. And I do want it to look like real mac salad. So before I put it away for its final chilling, I just need to evaluate. So what I'm thinking about doing, pickles out here. I get a couple big soup spoons full of garlic and juice because it literally absorbed all that water. I don't want to overdo it, just enough. And I take my handy spatula and I'm going to put a dollop or two mayonnaise, and you're going to be surprised when we look at this in an hour how all this stuff's just going to be gone. Nothing worse than if you had made this up and you weren't paying attention. You go to serve for dinner tonight, you took it out and all that macaroni was dry as can be. It'd be hard to repair at that point, so you do want to check it so. Sometimes what I'll do, because I'm usually cooking just for my wife and I, is right before I serve it up, I'll just take enough out to have as a side with dinner, put it in a little bowl. That's also good portion control, good for your diet, and add what it needs so I'm not affecting the whole thing. All right, this looks much better. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's not all full of mayonnaise. It just has this kind of nice sauce to it. There's no water puddle on the bottom, which is good because that means I didn't put too much vinegar in there. It's not too much mayonnaise, so it's not swimming in mayonnaise. And I think this looks perfect, and for the first batch of the year, I'm pretty darn proud of myself. Alright, it's time to get it in the refrigerator, and I will show it to you later on before we get this dished up. But for now, have fun for the rest of the day, and we'll see you later. Alright, we're back. So it's been in the refrigerator for a little over an hour, and I started to put some mayonnaise in. I said, no, I think I want to show you what it looks like. So you can see on top, it's really, really kind of dry. I got that big plop of mayonnaise in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a fork. You see how it's really, really dry. And so I just want to get this kind of mixed in. Like I said, sometimes I have to even, you know, the first night I eat, I get some out because the bowl gets full and serve it up, and then I can. And one of the reasons I don't want to overdo it liquid, and why I'm just using mayonnaise at this point, because I know I put enough pickle juice in here, is because one of the things I love to do with this, so like I said, we're going to have barbecue chicken for dinner tonight. See, look how see, this is perfect. Alright, so we let the top's all good. Yeah, much better. And this should be it. You know, this should be fine. Except before you serve it, you don't want to get it out a little early. But as you can see, it's not a whole lot of mayonnaise. It's pretty good. The reason I keep it on the dry side, because one of the things I really love to do when it's all said and done is I make tuna mac. So basically, I take a whole mix tuna fish. You know, I use the good stuff, the albacore, you know, or white in water. Squeeze all the water out. And I take the juice of a lemon, and I kind of cut the lemon in to the tuna with a fork. I don't want to put too much in, I don't want to drown it, but I want a little extra. And then I throw in the mac salad, and I keep it a lot of tuna and a little mac salad. You know, I don't want just little sparse pieces of tuna fish, but basically it should be enough so it could serve 2 people. You know, I do it as a meal with some other sides. And then what you do is, so you got your lemon juice and your tuna, and then I sprinkle just a little bit of curry on it, mix it together, and it's a great taste. Adding that lemon and the curry with the tuna just makes this really, really good. But for now, as you can see, I think we did a great job. Thank you all for your help and watching and supporting, but this is great. Oh, enjoy it, subscribe, comment, and make this salad, you'll be happy. Have a good day.